Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Trash Talk on Flying Circus, Flight at the Museum Special, where I talk about the planes in the book. Flight at the Museum is a plane pack full of really obsolete planes, with one of the oldest having its real-life counterpart in the ancient year of 1909, intended to get the feeling consistent with early air war in 1914 and the 1915 Fokker Scourge. These are truly crappy planes even by the standard of the early flight era. The plane pack even comes with some guides and suggestions on how to use these planes, just because of how unfair it is to fight some later World War I era planes in one of these. Anyway, let's start this episode off with Albrecht Kugel, the fastest racing plane of its year. A racing plane built by renowned designer Garrit Albrecht for the Sigvirdwasser Soda air racing team, the Kugel dominated the two-seater class until it was eclipsed by more powerful engines. At the request of the inventor, when the Kugel stopped winning, the designs were made public. Many copies have been made of the Kugel, most as garage projects. It remained a popular civilian sports aircraft, even through the war, as its engine was considered too weak for military service. A few have ended up militarized with a variety of armaments, most commonly submachine guns on a mount reaching over the propeller. These days, you can find Kugels in the hands of amateur racers, and new ones are still being produced by home workshops, mostly in two-seater variants for passenger and recreational flights. Some original Kugels are in the hands of private collectors who value it for its history, as an elegant artifact of a more civilized time. First thing first, oh hey, it's Albrecht. Second thing, at exactly 8 thaler when new and 4 when used, you get exactly what you expect from a plane of this price tag. It might have been the fastest once, but it's now slow as heck. At least it can climb somewhat okayish. Its mono-wing design makes it easy to see everything around you, and its engine is quite reliable, I will give it that, but still, yes, this thing is the worst energy fighter in the game, with only okay strain, low overspeed, and the least threatening weapon loadout of all energy fighters, 2 SMG on wing mount, but hey, at least it can carry an extra passenger. It's something, I guess. As for its variations, there's the Hauer Cup Champion variant, which has high-speed prop, landing skid, no guns, and add 1 micro tank, giving an amazing increase of 1 more max speed, but at least it's way cheaper now. There's also the wing-mounted MMG-1, which obviously remove the SMG and add an inaccessible forward MMG. This thing now has proper firepower at the cost of speed, but God help you if it jams. Lastly, there's the turret variant, which replaces the SMG with a rear turret LMG. Now you have something to cover your butt, but nothing to shoot in front of you. To put it shortly, you get exactly what you pay for Albrecht Kugel, and that's also what you should expect for the rest of this plane pack. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, the Flugzeugwerft Neustadt Courser, a plane being pulled in too many directions. When a banking conglomerate bought out the old Neustadt boatyards, they thought they were onto a winner. Most skilled aircraft workers were already employed, but this new Flugzeugwerft could turn hundreds of master wood and metal workers to highly profitable aircraft manufacturing. Unfortunately, traditional production methods of civilian pleasure boats were badly suited to warplanes. Draftsmen tinkered endlessly with the design, craftsmen took hours making wing ribs with great wastage of improperly formed pieces, and the aircraft ballooned from a 60-horsepower Scout to a huge do-anything fighter. When the Gotha Empire invaded the free city of Neustadt, aircraft that were rushed to aerodromes spent only a day in combat before being recalled to adjust the rudder balance. This resulted in many captured coursers for Gotha reserve units. The aircraft is dreadfully slow by modern standards, but is otherwise a perfectly competent fighter. At its price tag, the Flugzeugwerft Neustadt Courser is actually kinda okay. It has an MMG in front, a LMG turret at back, and 2 massive bombs to drop on someone's head. It's just very slow, like really slow, and could not climb or pick up speed at all, but at least it's tough enough that it can ignore bullets for a short while, and it's actually quite stable. Just don't expect the possibility of outrunning anything at all. As for its variations, there's the pre-production variant with 140 horsepower unsort engine, no bomb, with MMG swapped for overwing inaccessible LMG, so reloading that is gonna be a pain. At least it's slightly cheaper and lighter. That's something, I guess. It's starting to dawn on me that I'm going to use that line a lot more often than I wanted in these couple episodes. Next there's the production variant, which has any combination of flying control surfaces, cutouts, double the gunner's LMG, gunner LRC, or wing stagger, because this is the point where the company just went fucking insane and was trying everything they can for the plane. It's basically a just do whatever you want option, but console with your GM before you make it more insane, or just worse. So, the Flugzeugwerft Neustadt Courser If you need a really cheap fighter plane with bomb and full gun coverage, this might just works, or you should just get something else. Lastly, there's the Kreutzer Type 18 Zek, a tough-as-nails single-gun scout. The first truly famous Kreutzer aircraft, the Type 18 attracted attention not for its capability but for its tenacity. Its two-bay design, unusual for a scout, provides amazing resistance to damage and G-forces. The fuel tank was large, the handling docile. Gotha pilots joked that the only reason a Type 18 ever had to leave a furball was boredom, while UWF pilots called them ticks. This safety comes at the expense of performance. Heavier and less nimble than contemporary rotary scouts, the new Cobras were soon considered vastly superior. Commanders began writing off functional or even brand new Type 18s as defective to get priority for new Cobras. A handful of Type 18s were tested very successfully with the larger Bertha F1466 engines, but the engines were appropriated for Cobras. Kreutzer wouldn't get access to the engine again until the 1590s, with their future designs powered by rotaries and other cast-offs. There are rumors of a vast hangar of bare airframes outside Kaiserlandung, waiting to receive F1466s that will never come. The Zek adds another variety to the long list of single-gun scouts available to the players in Flying Circus. This time, it's one that's just ridiculously tough, either against bullets or hard turn. 43 max strain on such a cheap plane is just ridiculous. If you actually get fast enough to need that and pull a hard turn, the pilot will probably pass out before the plane breaks. Not only that, it has a lot of fuel range, so fuel leak won't be much of a problem. However, it is very slow, and not only that, it doesn't even have a rotary engine. Most single-gun scout of the era probably have a rotary engine and use wing warping to turn, which in turn means that the Zek might be losing more dogfight than it wins, even if it has enough toughness to possibly outlast its opponents. But hey, this plane is so ridiculously cheap that if you bail out in time, you can probably just afford another one and get flying almost immediately. And yes, despite being from different companies, the Zek looks rather similar to the Theller Cobra.
This is no
Zek,
boy, no
Zek. As for its variations, there's the Type 17, which remove one parallel strut and have aileron control. This variant is faster and lighter, but it's so fragile it's almost worthless. The Type 19 is a trainer variant, with 2 seats and no weapons. It's basically the same except unarmed. And then there's the Type 22, with Bertha F1466 for its engine, giving it 17 for speed, which is very good even by modern standard, and it's still very cheap. You could say that with this variant, the Zek is a hidden gold in this plane pack. As a conclusion, the Type 17 Zek, while underarmed and slow by modern standard, is tough enough to withstand anything that comes its way, though it probably gets shot down long before it breaks in half. And that's all for these 3 airplanes, from the past champion winner Albrecht Kugel that still kinda works in the modern time, the try-everything Flugs Jugwerfeet Neustadt Courser that can do the job of a fighter just fine, and the tough-as-brick Kreutzer Type 18 Zek that still shines even if it's slow as hell. Anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.